I honestly just didn't think I'd get this emotional about this. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Lauren and I'm a freshman at the University of Alabama. So some of you guys who follow me on Instagram know that I'm 21. In January, I will be 22. And yes, I am a freshman. This is a very sensitive and emotional topic for me. I have been postponing this video for so long because honestly I just haven't been able to find the words to say. So I think what I'm going to be doing is giving you my background and my story about where I'm coming from and everything that I went through to get here where I am right now. And then I think I'm going to be touching on some questions that I asked you guys on Instagram. I posted a story to see what kind of questions you guys had, and it was a lot of the same repetitive questions, so I guess I'm gonna hit most on those. Okay, here we go, I guess. So I graduated in 2017, so I was already old for my class. Before I graduated, my school was very it wasn't heavy on you have to go to college, but I think it's just the fact that I was born and raised in the South, and that is just something that you do. I feel personally in the South, it goes, you have to hit every stage of life in a certain order, and it doesn't have to be that way at all, because how they make it seem is you have to go through high school, then you have to go to college, and then you have to get married, and then you have to have kids, and then you do the same cycle with your kids all over again. You shouldn't have to stick to just the norms of society and what society wants you to go through. And I just found it very hard with the people that I was around, and people would look down on me because I didn't go to college, but it wasn't that I didn't want to, it was literally just because nothing worked out. So I guess that's just kind of my disclaimer real quick. Now let me gather myself. So senior year of high school for me, I was trying to decide where I wanted to go to school. Honestly, Alabama was not in my radar at all. I was never thinking of Alabama. I really wanted to go out of state for some reason. I honestly can't remember really the reason why I wanted to go out of state. I wanted a big school. I wanted Greek life. I wanted to have that huge college experience. It came down to the deciding factor, and I decided I wanted to go to Mississippi State. That is just where my heart was automatically. Right when I walked on campus, I just felt like home. It just felt so amazing to me. I felt like I knew that is where I'm going to go. That's where I'm going to do. I'm going to rush at Mississippi State. I want to be in this sorority. I knew what I wanted, and nothing else was going to stop me. So I sign up for orientation. I sign housing. I get all my ducks in a row basically to go to Mississippi State. There were several reasons why this wasn't going to work out for me. In the back of my head, I had a feeling that it wasn't going to work out the way I wanted it to, but I literally just kept pushing for what I wanted or what I thought was best for me. Nothing was working out for me to go to Mississippi State. Literally nothing. End of July of 2017, I'm literally getting ready to leave for Mississippi State because I was going to rush, I was going to do everything, paid all those fees too. And I received news that I'm not going to have a cosigner on my student loans. At the time, I didn't have any credit. I had no credit card. I had no credit history whatsoever because I honestly didn't think that was important because no one taught me that in high school. And no one would give me a student loan of 50, 60 grand to be able to go and cover all the expenses to be able to go. I knew I couldn't just not go to college. How dare I not go to college? That's what I have to do after graduation. That's what I have to do. That's what everyone I know is doing and did. I have to do the same thing. Wrong. So after a lot of tears and a lot of heartbreak from not being able to go to my dream college, I just need to figure out what school I'm going to be going to that's going to accept me less than a month before classes start. So I decided to apply to UAB, which is University of Alabama in Birmingham. I applied literally, I think it was the 7th of August. I applied to go to UAB. Then in this case, none of my scholarships would roll over because they were due December 1st or 12th or whatever it was. It is August now. After talking to my advisor or whoever she was at UAB, I realized, well, dang it. I'm not going to college. I didn't hide it, but I wasn't publicly speaking about it. I literally feel like the Bachelorette whenever she's trying to send one of her boys home. She's like, I just have so many things to think about before the cocktail party. All of my friends were going to college. Literally every single one of them. And here I was. Now middle of August while all my friends are moving in and I'm stuck at home. everything my friends were experiencing, I wasn't able to experience. And it sucked. Thing that keeps popping up in my head is fear of missing out. And I guess it was partially that, I guess. I don't really know how to describe what I was feeling. It just sucked. You shouldn't compare your social life to other people's social life of what they only post on social media. And that is exactly what I was doing. And I know I was wrong for that. So I knew I couldn't just sit in the house and not do anything, so I decided to get a job. The route I was going to be taking right when I applied to school was going to be nursing. Well, it was actually going to be pre-med, but we're not going to talk about that because that was just like, I don't even know what my mind was doing then. But it resulted into nursing. I decided that the best way to get to do that is to get a job at a hospital and potentially have them help me pay for my college. So, welcome to the end of 2017. I learned that there was a position called patient care technician at my local hospital. I'm pretty sure they're called either that or nursing assistant. I'm just going to apply for this job and see if I get it. I got a call from a lady from my local hospital saying that I have been passed through to the interview round, and if I was still interested in the job position, they would love to interview me. It was a huge deal for me, and it was a huge stepping stone on where I wanted to go. And that's where my mindset had to start changing, and I had to come to terms with myself and what I wanted. It's not what God wanted at all with my life. Literally giving my whole life plan that I had in my mind that I thought was perfection, literally just lifting it up to God, basically saying, help me out. I don't know what I'm doing. I need your strength, I need your love, and I need your patience, because that is something your girl struggles with on the daily. I got another call, and it was them offering me a job at the hospital. And I just remember being so excited because I would have my own income coming in. I would potentially be able to go to school. So I got my job, and it required a certification, and that was like a 3-month, 4-month course or something. Really, I liked the job. I didn't like the hours because I had to be there at 6:30 p.m. and I left at 7:30 a.m. No, ma'am. While I was working in the hospital, I decided that I was going to get more involved in theater. I got to audition for tons of great shows over the span of my gap years. I wouldn't be able to be in those exact shows and meet those people that I did if I didn't take the gap years. I also really started to focus more on modeling. So I would go to more modeling calls. I would model for more magazines, for more companies, for more shops, whatever it may be. I did the character entertainment business back at home too. I would get to dress up as different princesses and different fairies or different things like that, and it was so much fun, and I really put my heart and soul into that as well. So then I kept getting calls from the Miss USA Corporation and asking them if I wanted to compete in Miss Alabama USA, and I was like, you know what? Yes, I do. I have done one pageant, and it was Distinguished Young Women. Flashback to little Lauren being a distinguished young woman. So I decided to compete in Miss Alabama USA. It was honestly so much fun, and some of you guys have been requesting a video on that as well. I am thinking about competing this next upcoming year. I would love to go back. After I competed in Miss Alabama USA, I decided that, I want to be in a movie. So that's what I did. I was in 2 movies. So I was in these 2 movies. One of them is called Super Cool. The other one is called Son of the South. Son of the South is with Lucy Hale and Lucas Till. My scene was with Lucas Till. I love Lucas Till. My literal childhood crush. That was such an awesome experience as well. Getting to be in those movies, getting to be on set. Flashback to last November. So November 2018. And I get an email from my grandparents asking me to call them. And I'm like, what is wrong? I like to email my grandparents and keep them updated with my life and just keep them updated with what I'm doing. It was my grandfather on the phone, and he was just asking me where I was in my life and where I wanted my life to go. And he was like, well, what do you want your career to be? And I was like, well, I don't really know. There's different certifications that I can get to have a higher up job without having to go to college. And then he asked me, do you want to go to college? And I was like, yes. Yeah, obviously I want to go to college, but we both know that this isn't going to work out for me. Why are you asking me this question? After I said yes, and he responded, well, me and my grandmother would love to put you through college. I literally started crying on the phone. It was something that I always wanted to do. It was always something that I looked forward to in my life, and it was something that I thought was taken away from me forever, because I was coming to terms at that point this same time last year, and after that came out, I just remember literally feeling so many emotions and feeling so overwhelmed by everything, and just an overall grateful and thankful heart, and thanking God for the patience that he gave me for that exact moment. And I was just so grateful and thankful that something I had been praying on and something that I had been wanting for so long was finally here. I had this chance to do this. So that's how I got to the point that I am at now. How I'm feeling right now, it's hard. It's really hard because not everyone understands still. This is a very taboo topic, but everything put aside, I'm very grateful for my gap years. I'm very grateful and happy that I took the time off that I needed. Anyways, so that was my story of how I got to the point where I am now. So I posted this on my story saying just to send me your questions that you had about gap years. The first question I'm going to answer is, what has been the biggest challenge so far? The biggest challenge I have faced is finding people my own age that actually want to hang out with me. A lot of the older girls still see me as a freshman. I don't have like a group of girls that are my age that I can call my best friends or like friends here. Next question is, were you worried about Rush and being older than the majority of your pledge class? I was worried about it, but honestly, no one really cared because Rush is stressful enough. No one was really stressed out about my age, or at least I don't think they were. Next question is, do you feel like you're more mature than your 17 to 18-year-old peers? Yes. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's just like the maturity level and where my mindset is now. Looking back at me when I was 17 or 18, picking my college and the mindset I was in, it's completely different than where I am now. Being a 21-year-old freshman, how did you adjust? Was it hard? I'm still adjusting. I'm not going to lie, it is very hard. And some people would get really rude about it and literally say things like, are you really hanging out with a freshman? Yes, I'm not gonna look down on someone just because they're younger than me. So Sarah asked, why did you decide to live in the dorms coming in at 21? Living in the dorms as a freshman is required at the University of Alabama. It also went back to I wanted that college experience and I wanted to live in the dorms too. Okay, so this is kind of like a two-part question. I took one gap year but go to a 2-year, so I'll be a 21-year-old freshman as well. Any advice in fitting in when you're older than most people in your classes? Be yourself. Like, that is so cliche. I'm so sorry I just said that. Everyone is there for a reason, and just because they're younger doesn't mean anything. Like, take it at your own pace and just do everything the way you want to do it, and don't focus on anyone else or like trying to fit in. When you applied to UA, did the admissions department question you about your gap years? Yes. Basically, after I applied, after they had gotten my transcript and be like, oh, this girl's 21, what is she doing? I had to send them like basically like a page saying what I had done during my gap year, showing them that I was doing things, I guess. But it was something I had to do to get like fully admitted into UA. They had to have that statement of activity from me. Did you regret taking a gap year? During the time, yes. Now, no. So this girl asked, do you find it hard to connect with your PC, as most of them would be straight out of high school? That's another yes and no question. It depends on the girl. It was hard at first, and I'm not gonna lie, it's still hard. I'm a very introverted person. I love being on stage and I love doing like outgoing, very loud type things, but whenever it comes to like relationships and making friends, I have the hardest time making new friends, and I'm just very scared to go up and introduce myself to someone. This girl asked, do you feel like you missed out on the college experience before you came to Alabama? Yes. Literally, it killed me every single time I saw a post about it on social media, and that leads back into letting the whole social media thing follow me and do all this stuff to me. I felt completely left out, and I felt completely in the dark, and it actually really sucked. So Kaylee asked, is it hard being of drinking age when other freshmen are not? Not really, no. A ton of people have been asking me. I literally have about 20 questions about, is it weird having a big that is younger than you? No. I don't focus in on the age, and I really don't think Georgia does either. Like, I love hanging out with Georgia and Georgia's friends, like at lunch or anything like that. Like, I always say hey to her. I always want to hang out with her. Ray asked, do upperclassmen treat you differently? Yes, they treat me like a freshman, and I just kind of sit there. It's mostly girl upperclassmen that treat me differently, and I think it's just because they think I'm a freshman. I don't really know. Jillian said, do you ever feel behind everyone else your age? Yes. I literally had a meltdown this past week because age, marriage, relationship, college, timing, everything was just coming into my head. Lately it's been a little bit worse because I think I'm just so burnt out and I'm just so ready for the holidays and just like to be able to breathe just a little bit. I'm going to end this video on this. Not everyone talks about gap years because everyone is so used to going straight into college. I'm very happy with where I am right now, and I'm very blessed and thankful for where God placed me and at what age and point in time God placed me where he did. I really couldn't imagine it any other way. I'm so sorry for this lengthy video, and if you made it through this far, thank you. I love you guys so much. I hope this answered any questions that you might have. Was not expecting this long of a video. If you guys have any questions or just want advice or someone to talk to about gap years or anything involving that, please leave a comment or DM me on Instagram. I love to talk to you guys, reply back to your comment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys a little bit later. Bye!